have a friend who says, before I tell you what I spent, let me tell you what I saved. And I laugh all the time when I hear that because it's so true. We think that way. Hi, everyone. It's Tina with Picture It Personal Finance, where I ask you to picture your goal, plan to achieve it, and enjoy the process. Today, we are talking about impulse shopping. This is a topic that is very important to me specifically right now. Many of you know that I have left my corporate job behind, and in so doing, I lost a very handsome paycheck, which I miss tremendously, but I have every faith that I will be able to replace that income through my coaching practice. Until then, though, I have to live on a tighter budget, and that means my discretionary income has reduced tremendously. I have a strong desire to buy things still that are more in alignment with what my former income was. Why? Why do these things still exist in me? And frankly, it's because every one of us has that in us to purchase things on impulse. We get impulses in a variety of ways, and because of those, many of us want to shop. The three most common triggers that I see are wanting to reward yourself, wanting to keep up with the Joneses or make yourself look a certain kind of way, or wanting to comfort yourself. You're having an emotional reaction and you want to feel good, and buying something will give you that feel good emotion for a time. These things are triggered. Again, I've mentioned this in so many videos. These are emotions that are triggered by thoughts. So identifying what are the thoughts and what triggers those thoughts can help alleviate those impulse purchases. I have 3 tips really for overcoming the habit of impulse shopping. The most important one is avoiding your triggers. I think there are a multitude of triggers out there. There's as many triggers as there are people because we all think differently. I'm going to cover in this video a few that I'm aware of because I've personally experienced them, but I would love to hear from you in the comments if you're aware of other triggers that you've identified in yourself so that other viewers maybe can learn from it, because sometimes it can be very difficult to identify what actually is the trigger. What is the thinking? What is the experience that you had that led to a thought, that led to an emotion, that led to an action? So the triggers that I have seen most commonly come up are what you are watching on TV, what or who you are following on Instagram or other social media platforms, but definitely the ones that are very visual are the ones that will harm you the most. When people can talk about a gorgeous sweater all day long, but when you see it, you want it. Where you're shopping and whether or not you're shopping with a plan, who you're shopping with, and whether or not a sale is involved. There are certain TV shows that have absolutely pulled out of me the desire to shop. I've admitted in the past my dirty little secret of enjoying the Real Housewives franchises. In particular, the Real Housewives of New Jersey is one I have watched from the get-go, and I have committed to myself that I am not going to watch the next season of it. The reason for that is because every season that I watch this show, I feel compelled to refresh and revamp my wardrobe, and I want the really nice things that those ladies have, especially the designer handbags. I am an admitted bag hag. I have had but I've had multiple Louis Vuittons, Gucci's, Saint Laurent's, and I really just love it. It's one of those things that I definitely lust after in life, and I know that at the right time, in the right place, for the right price, it can be fine. I'm not at all saying that you shouldn't have luxury and designer things in your life, but you should have them for the right reasons and when it's a part of your plan and when you can properly afford it. And since my discretionary income has taken a nosedive since leaving corporate and trying to establish a business, that's a big deal. I get some funding, but it's nothing like what I was getting when I had my corporate income and corporate paycheck. Therefore, I know to avoid that TV show this year. I'm not even going to watch it. And as a matter of fact, going right into the second item, I've unfollowed those ladies on Instagram because they are beautiful people with beautiful things and beautiful homes. And that is a trap for me. It's a trap for me that I recognize. Honestly, you might not even need to watch a celebrity. It might be your neighbor down the street who, for whatever reason, you're crushing on their life. You might not be able to see that they've acquired it all through debt, but you just see that they're having upgraded cars, upgraded vacations, they're renovating the home, they are living a depiction of success that you want for yourself. And therefore, it's triggering in you that impulse to acquire or purchase things that are not really in your plan and that you shouldn't be pursuing at this time. Another one is where you shop. This is a silly example, but every time I went to Whole Foods, I just loved their deli and their bread case. And I would come home with like 5 loaves of bread. I would freeze them and I would eventually work through them all, but I didn't go to Whole Foods very often because it didn't matter how often I went there. I still wanted to buy like 5 loaves of bread or go through their gourmet cookie case. And these are things that were impulse shopping. I just really love that kind of stuff. And so seeing it fresh and knowing that it's organic and in a healthful way made me really want to go after it and pursue it and get it and eat it and enjoy it when it wasn't in my plan. It wasn't on my shopping list and it wasn't in my budget. Another great example of where you shop is perusing the racks at TJ Maxx or at Target. This kind of goes hand in hand with this idea of a sale. I have a friend who says, before I tell you what I spent, let me tell you what I saved. And I laugh all the time when I hear that because it's so true. We think that way. I believe that there are so many people who purchase things that they don't want and they don't need only because it was a smoking deal. And then it just lingers there. It just sits there and takes up space. It's something else they have to take care of. So shopping the end caps, shopping the clearance racks, don't do that. If that is a trigger for you to acquire things that you don't need, avoid it. Avoiding your triggers is the wisest course of action. Speaking of, who you shop with. This was my last one that I'll bring up for avoiding triggers. This can be a big one as well. I would travel for work and I had a person whom I love but had greater discretionary income than me. And I often felt when I shopped with this person that, oh, I can just get this, I can just get that, because they had the ability to purchase things with that degree of discretionary income that I didn't currently have. And so they could easily drop $500 at the mall or, whatever it ended up being. Not that I saw that happen very much, but they could have easily done it. Whereas for me, I'd be doing it, kind of just toeing the line with that person and thinking to myself, man, this is so much of my fun money. This is not how I want to spend it, but I really want this stuff right now and she can do it, so can I. Such a bad way to think. So luckily I didn't travel with that person too often and I didn't fall off my plan too frequently in that way. But if you have a best friend who lives in town with you and you see them all the time, it could be a real problem for you. So be aware of that. Limit those situations. And then the last part or comment that I want to make is it is okay to want something and not have it. There's a song out right now, and it's been around for a little while by, I think, Ariana Grande, and I hate this song. The chorus is literally, I want it, I got it. Ugh, I can't stand it because it's putting a voice in your head that impulse shopping is what to do. I want it, I got it. No, it is absolutely okay to want something and not get it. Want something and say, I can have it later. Want something and say, it's just not for me. Want something and say, where am I going to put it? Want something and say, it's going to cost too much in the long run. The maintenance is too much for me. I'm not that interested in it. Learn how to speak to yourself that way. It's so much more empowering than just acquiring stuff. Stuff will clutter your mind. It will clutter your spirit. It will clutter your heart. It will clutter your house. Don't just get a bunch of stuff. Get the things that matter. Focus on the things that matter. Stick to your plan. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please hit the like button. Feel free to share and check out my website if you're interested in coaching. Talk to you soon. Bye.